Hello darlings, let's talk about some books that I read this week. The first of which is The Beautiful Ones by Silvia Moreno-Garcia, and this book comes out October 24th, which means that I actually got an ARC, an advanced reader's copy of a book before a book's release date, thanks to NetGalley. And this book is by the author who wrote the only vampire book I've ever liked, so it's really awesome. This is not a vampire book. The fantasy element in this is that some people have telekinetic abilities. They're called psychokinetics in the book. At least it's the polite term for them. In less polite terms, society views them as a little bit monstrous. So, anyway, the book starts at the opening of the grand season, and this is where fancy people have very fancy parties, and they court each other. They try to arrange marriages and the likes. And so we have two newcomers to the glamorous city of Losal, and the first one we meet is Hector, and he's been traveling for 10 years abroad, performing his psychokinetic act in order to earn a fortune. Our other newbie is Nina, and she's a young woman from the country. She has a good family name, she has a good-sized dowry, but it's still hard for her to find a husband for a couple reasons. One being that she's rather rebellious, and she just won't be tamed by the city's stifling conventions. And two, she's a psychokinetic. So, as I mentioned, not favorably looked upon. We have one other main character. Her name's Valerie, and Nina has been sent to live under Valerie's tutelage, and just to learn how to behave properly in high society. And so Valerie and Nina are foils for each other, where Nina is unpolished, she's idealistic, and Valerie, she is highly polished and sophisticated and practical. Nina's idealism. So it might seem like that there's one heroine of this pair, but I think the book does a pretty good job of showing that there are sympathetic sides to both of these characters. The book really focuses on Nina though, particularly because she's crushing so hard on Hector, and there might be a marriage proposal imminent between the two of them, but Hector and others are hiding a devastating secret. So it's a very romance-focused book. The only fantasy really is the telekinetic powers. That's the only element of fantasy in it. And the book's pacing is rather slow, but I think it really matches the tone and the type of romance that is being told. So overall, for a romance book, I think it's well worth the read. Moving along, I also read Saga, or Saga, however you pronounce this comic series, and I reread / caught up on it. Basically, I went back and I read volumes 1 through 7, so that's where I am, and I just had forgotten so much about it, which is why I went back all the way to the beginning. But I really enjoyed spending all those hours in this world because I totally love it. And if you're not familiar with the story, it is set in a galaxy that's at war, and there are these two soldiers on opposing sides of the war, but they fall in love. And while it's kind of about them being star-crossed lovers, it's mostly about their family and the people who come in and out of their lives. It's a really interesting cast of characters and really just enjoyable to spend time in that world, so I really enjoyed it. And with that, I think that's a wrap on this video. Till next time, my lovelies.